I just watched a little Facebook video from this girl who was Miss USA. She represented District of Columbia and won the title. And she made a very valid point. If not you, then who? Don't be afraid of failure, rejection. Be afraid of the yes, she said, that you could destroy. And I thought that was really powerful. I've given up on myself in my life several times that I can think of through the years. Because someone laughed, or somehow I convinced myself that I couldn't do it. And she's right. You know, I want to open a tutoring center and several other businesses. I want to have a great big house. These aren't bad things. And if not me, then who? You know, I mean, Archer, my service dog, who's right here with me. In fact, I'm petting him right now. He's a little bit of a wanting attention at the moment. Archer, stop. And I got told even by my own mother, you don't need a service dog. It's not going to make any difference. And you can't afford it anyway. I didn't know how I was going to get my service dog. I contacted the one company that I heard about from a friend of mine. And I told them, listen, I don't have a lot of money. How can we do this? And they said, you can make payments. And then once you get the dog paid off, you can come down and get it. I wasn't worried about the come down and get it part because I wasn't there yet. So I started making the payments. The first payment I made was huge. I mean, for me, it was huge. It was $100. And when you get like $800 a month to live on, that's a lot of money. I wasn't even getting $800 a month at that time. And so I started making payments, sometimes as little as $10, $15 would go. And my friends around town started to see what I was trying to do, and they tried to help. They did fundraisers, they put out jars for tips, and we worked on it for 3 years. But I still didn't know how to get down there. I can't drive. And my mom finally slowly came around, and she's like, okay, if you really want this service dog, but can I pet him? And when she said, can I pet him? I knew that she was going to support me in getting the service dog. She just, you know, her mind came around to it. And I told her, well, no, not when he's working. You can't pet him because we lived together at the time. But when he's not working, of course you can pet him. He's got to listen to you too. I have 3 people that are what I call secondary handlers for Archer. That if I'm in a situation where I can't handle him for some reason, or I go to the ER and, you know, have to have surgery or whatever, then he goes to one of those 3 people and so he's got to listen to them. And so when we got closer to the goal, there was a couple in my art group, and he'd give me donations out of his Social Security. He and his wife would. And I knew he wasn't well. I didn't know why, but I knew he wasn't well. And they came up to me, and I had like $150 left. And I had just sent off 50 of that. So I had $100 left, and I would have him paid off. And he said, his wife said, how much do you have left? And I said, $100. And we were at my art group. Well, she goes back over to her husband and her artwork, and I didn't think anything of it because we have a big buffet there. Everybody brings a dish, and while you're drawing and talking to other people, because we teach each other techniques, it's just free-flowing. You snack, you eat, you do art. I love it. I miss it because of COVID, but I love it. And she come back over to me where I was sitting painting an angel. I'm about the only one in the art group that paints the ceramics, but I was working on an angel up there while I visited with my friends. And she hands me a check. And it was that last $100. 2 weeks later, her husband passed away. I wanted to give the money back. But I also knew that if I did that, there might be offense taken because this is what he wanted me to have, that service dog. They both do. And so I told her, I said, well, when I get him, you get the first pictures. And when I went down to get him, they didn't want you putting pictures of him on Facebook or the internet till after graduation. Well, I didn't listen to that. The first night I took the first picture and I sent it directly to her to show her what she and her husband Chip had worked for and helped me work for. After I got him paid off, I still didn't know how I was going to get down there, and my mom actually handled that part. She said, I'm going to refinance the house, and here's my reasons. And she gave me the reasons because I'm on the deed to the house too. And she says, I need to pay some bills, but we need to get you down for your service dog. This is the woman that told me you don't need the service dog. Yet, she did that so we could go down there, stay in Concordia for a week, and I could get Archer, bring him home. If you give up on yourself, who else is going to give up on you too? If they see you're the first person to give up on yourself, don't do it. I want a mansion. I want this one house in town. I've already seen it. I know I want it. If not me, then why not? Why not me? God gives, this is my belief, but God gives us dreams and wants because that's part of what He wants for us. Don't make your life lazy and not go for something you think you should go for. You want to be first chair in band and you're a student watching this? You go for that first chair in band. My sister used to play her instruments back out in the back side of our house because Mom and my stepfather got tired of hearing her mess up. And then she'd come back in because her clarinets would squeak. And then she'd replay it for us. And she kept going till she got first chair. You know? If you want something, if you dream something up here, bring it to the front. How do I do that? Grab a pencil and paper and write down your dream. I didn't tell anybody other than my mom that I wanted to open a tutoring center for years. And finally my mom says, Tanya, if you're not going to do it, why are you talking about it? Mom's kind of wise. If you're just thinking about it and you don't make a step toward it, then you can't have it because you're not working for it. Even if it fails the first time, the second time, she tried for Miss DC 6 times before she got to go on to the next stage. And she became Miss USA. So why not? So you're going to fail the first couple times. Rejection hurts, but it's not going to kill you. But if you don't believe in yourself and you don't support your own dreams, then no one else can help you either. Especially if they don't know that's your dream. You want to go to college and nobody in your family's gone to college? Start talking about it. Write it down. Talk to everybody who will listen. And maybe one person out there will be the one person that you need to hear from that can help you figure out what your next step is. I put a post on Facebook for my local town asking the business owners how they got started because I live in a small town. And a lady approached me on a message, and she's a business coach. And she's willing to help me. Now I've got to write a business plan. Am I terrified of trying to do that? Well, yeah, definitely. But am I going to do it? Oh, yeah. I don't know how I'm going to get the money from my tutoring center. I don't know how I'm going to get the money to get out of a 1-bedroom apartment and into a home of my own. But I'm not going to stop wanting for it, dreaming for it, and striving for it. I'm not. Don't you either. Why? If not me, then who? There's a story in the Bible. This man was told by God to go gather an army and go fight against an enemy, and that God would guarantee his victory. But he was scared and didn't want to do it. So God took the blessings that would come from that victory and that desire, and he gave it to somebody else. And this other person, they went out and they fought that enemy. And they were blessed for following what God wanted them to do, and they were victorious. But because the first man was afraid and said no, he didn't get any blessings. How many of us are stopping ourselves from getting those blessings because we don't believe in ourselves? Something to think about. And if you can't believe in your own dream, you talk to somebody who can help support you until you can stand on your own. Maybe your family isn't coming around to your idea of what you want to do. That's not the be-all, end-all. I've done things against my family my whole life. Some of them worked out and some of them didn't. But I'm still glad I did them. They're part of me and who I am. When I moved out with my best friend when I was a teenager, I was 18, 19. My mom and stepfather were against the idea. They didn't get along with her. And especially my stepfather. So I cut contact with my mom and stepfather for years. Many years. Almost 18 years. Because I felt like I didn't want to make my mom choose between her daughter and her husband. But also because I wanted to do it. I wanted to live with my best friend. There were medical concerns that drove the decision in the first place. My seizures had become apparent when I tried to live out on my own. I didn't stop because my family said no. There were regrets in those 18 years that I lived with my best friend. Was it always easy? No. Do I regret it? No. The good and the bad that you go through in your life shapes who you are. Are you being bullied at school? I was. Not by a huge group of people, a smaller group of people, but it happened. But you know what? I survived it. And it made me a strong person. Will I get my tutoring center off the ground in the next year? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm not going to give up on my dream or myself. If not you, then who? If someone says you're stupid, look at them and smile and say thank you. They're going to go, what? But you know what? If I don't care about your opinion of me, and my friend Connie likes to say this, then why should it matter? Stop caring what other people think and you go for your dreams, because they're going to look back later and go, I was wrong. That first week and the couple of nights in the hotel, Mom saw an almost immediate change. I always have nightmares and night terrors. Would wake up screaming some nights. Or not knowing where I was at. That happened a lot. Waking up, I can't orient myself, couldn't figure out where I was at. Would lead into a panic attack. But with Archer there, even the first night, he slept on the floor between the two of us because the bed was too high for him to jump up. It was too high for me to get up. I had to have a step stool to get on the bed. This was not a good hotel. But Mom said, I was wrong. You know, and even now, she'll go, people start, you know, going up to him or what, she'll stop them without me asking her to. You know, she went to the classes with me for him and everything, and she'll turn around and go, listen, you can't interfere with him. He's a service dog. And you can hear the pride in her voice that I did that. I know she's proud of me for going through that and getting my dream. My dream. I wanted to go to school when I was 5 years old. I couldn't walk. In 1980, my school system was not set up for wheelchairs. So I had to walk before I could go to school. And it was time for kindergarten. And the bus pulled up and I'd see it. And I wanted to be on that bus. Not for the kids. I had a pretty good idea that I was going to get teased. Even at 5 years old, I knew that I was different. And that I was going to get made fun of. But I wanted to learn. I love to learn. But days went by and weeks went by and that bus came and went. And because it hurt to try to stand up, I didn't do it. I had my heel cord severed. But I got tired of sitting in the chair, being at the babysitter's. I wanted to go to that school. So Mom says the babysitter said I wheeled myself to the end of the hall and I grabbed the wall and I started trying to pull myself down the hallway. I don't remember that really clearly. But I did it. I don't remember a lot of my childhood very clearly. Part of that's because of my seizures. We didn't know back then that's what was happening. But you know what? I did it. Despite everything, I did it. I joined band in 6th grade. And because I was legally blind, I was having trouble reading the music, so I gave up. I gave up on me. When I was 16, I got a job at McDonald's, but because it hurt to stand up all that time, instead of going to my boss and saying, listen, I need something that I can do with my disability, I gave up on me and I quit. Don't quit. Don't quit on yourself. Don't ever quit on yourself. If you have a dream, there's a reason that dream is there. You reach out to grab it. No matter how many times you fall down, you go for it again. Like I said, she became Miss USA and she got lost the same pageant 60 years in a row. And she still did it. Don't give up. If not me, then who? You're an amazing person. I don't know you, but I believe in you. And if you can't believe in yourself, you ask for help for someone to believe in you until you can do it yourself. Until you convince yourself that I'm good. Start writing things down. Don't write anything negative down. It's so easy to write down the negative. We hear it every day. Write down your positives. And then write down your negatives. Your negative list at first is going to be a lot longer than your positive list. But you still write out those positives. I am ... I am strong. I am smart. I am wise. I am beautiful. Or handsome if you're a man. I saw a picture when I was in high school. It was a poster. It said, I am okay. And underneath it, it went, I am. And there was a whole poster full of I ams. And I loved that. But you know what? I am more than okay. More than okay. And I deserve every beautiful thing God has for me. And I'm not going to turn my back on it any longer. And I don't want you to either. God bless and have a good day.